Welcome, philosophy enthusiasts and curious minds. Today we dive into the brilliant world of Stoicism. A profound philosophy of personal ethics, Stoicism is grounded in a system of logic and worldviews that details the fabric of the natural world. Emerging as one of the leading philosophical schools in ancient Greece and Rome, it has left an indelible mark on the sands of time. The Stoics, through their teachings, provided a framework for navigating life's trials and tribulations. They encouraged the cultivation of virtue, wisdom, and moral character, asserting that these are the only true goods. Everything else, wealth, fame, even health, are but indifferent things, neither good nor bad. Stoic philosophy urges us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot, a principle as impactful now as it was 2 millennia ago. Stoicism teaches us the art of living, and now, let's meet the masters of this art. Our journey starts with Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, who lived around 300 BC. Hailing from Cyprus, Zeno found his calling in the bustling city of Athens, where he stumbled upon philosophy almost by chance. After a shipwreck left him stranded in the city, he found solace in the works of Socrates, which sparked a lifelong passion for philosophy. Zeno's philosophy, which we now call Stoicism, was deeply rooted in virtue and ethics. He believed that virtue was the highest form of goodness, and that it could only be achieved by living in accordance with nature. He taught that our actions should always align with our nature as rational, social beings, and that by doing so, we could achieve tranquility and freedom from suffering. Zeno also emphasized the importance of accepting the world as it is, rather than how we wish it to be. He believed that many of our struggles stem from our resistance to the natural order of things. According to him, once we learn to accept and adapt to the world around us, we can lead a life of harmony and peace. The teachings of Zeno were not merely theoretical, but practical. He urged his followers to practice self-control, discipline, and mindfulness in their daily lives. He believed that these practices would help individuals cultivate virtue and live in alignment with nature. Zeno's philosophy was radical for its time, but it resonated with many, drawing a dedicated following. His teachings inspired a new school of thought, which came to be known as the Stoic school. This school would go on to produce some of the greatest minds in history, including Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius. Zeno's teachings laid the foundation of Stoic philosophy, a foundation that would be built upon by many great minds. If you're finding this journey fascinating, give us a like. Fast forward to the 1st century AD, where we meet Seneca, the wealthy Stoic. Seneca was a man of contradictions, a Stoic philosopher who amassed great wealth and power, yet his teachings revolved around the pursuit of wisdom, virtue, and tranquility over materialism. Seneca's philosophy was deeply rooted in the Stoic tradition, but he had his unique interpretations. He was a firm believer in the idea that virtue is the only good and vice the only evil. For Seneca, wealth and power were not inherently evil or good, rather they were indifferent, and their value depended on how they were used. When used wisely, wealth and power could be tools for good, enabling one to live a virtuous life and contribute to society. However, when sought for their own sake, they could lead to vice and misery. In his writings, Seneca often emphasized the shortness of life. He believed that life is long enough if well managed. He urged us to be mindful of how we spend our time, to focus on meaningful pursuits, and to not squander our time on trivial matters. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it, he famously wrote. This sentiment is a reminder of the Stoic principle of focusing on what is within our control and letting go of what is not. Seneca also taught about tranquility, a state of calmness and composure. He believed that tranquility was not achieved by avoiding hardships, but by developing resilience and inner strength to face them. He advised us to prepare for adversity, to anticipate challenges, and to cultivate an unshakable peace of mind that remains steady regardless of external circumstances. Seneca's teachings resonate with us even today, reminding us of the importance of virtue, the wise use of time, and the pursuit of tranquility amidst life's storms. His thoughts on wealth and power challenge us to think deeply about our values and priorities. Seneca's writings are a testament to the enduring power of Stoic philosophy, showing us how to find tranquility in a turbulent world. Next, we meet Epictetus, a slave-turned-philosopher who lived during the 1st century AD. Born into slavery in Hierapolis, Phrygia, present-day Turkey, Epictetus's early life was far from easy. Yet it was these very hardships that shaped his philosophy and teachings. He was owned by Epaphroditus, a wealthy freedman and secretary to Nero. Despite his status, Epictetus was permitted to pursue an education, a rare opportunity that led him to discover the teachings of Stoicism. After obtaining his freedom, Epictetus began to teach philosophy in Rome. However, when Emperor Domitian banished philosophers from the city, Epictetus found refuge in Nicopolis, Greece, where he established a philosophical school. His teachings were later documented by his pupil Arrian in a collection known as the Discourses and the Enchiridion, or Handbook. Epictetus's philosophy centered around the principle of acceptance. He believed that some things are within our control and others are not. Our opinions, desires, aversions, and in a word, whatever are our own actions are within our control. On the other hand, things outside our control include our bodies, possessions, reputation, and public offices, or, in a word, whatever are not our own actions. Epictetus argued that understanding this distinction is key to living a fulfilled life. He urged us to focus our energy on things within our control and accept the things we can't change with equanimity. This principle became a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy and continues to resonate with people today, influencing everything from cognitive behavioral therapy to modern self-help movements. Epictetus's life is a testament to the transformative power of philosophy. From a life of servitude, he rose to become one of the most influential thinkers of his time. His teachings remind us that our perception of events, not the events themselves, determine our reaction. Epictetus taught us that it's not events that disturb people, but their judgments concerning them. Our journey ends with Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king who ruled the Roman Empire in the 2nd century AD. Unlike most rulers of his time, Marcus Aurelius was not just a political figure, he was also a deep thinker and a devoted practitioner of Stoicism. His reign was marked by wisdom and a profound understanding of the human condition, which he gleaned from his Stoic philosophy. Born into wealth and privilege, Marcus Aurelius was groomed for leadership from a young age. Yet he never allowed his power and status to cloud his judgment or corrupt his character. Instead, he used his philosophical insights to guide his actions, always striving to act with virtue, fairness, and compassion. Marcus Aurelius's philosophy is best captured in his personal writings, known today as Meditations. These were never intended for publication, but rather served as a private journal, a place for Marcus to reflect on his thoughts and confront his fears and uncertainties. This makes Meditations a rare and intimate glimpse into the mind of a Roman emperor. In Meditations, Marcus Aurelius contemplates on virtue, duty, and the nature of life and death. He writes about the impermanence of all things, the interconnectedness of the universe, and the importance of accepting things as they come. He reminds us that we cannot control what happens to us, but we can control how we respond. This is the essence of Stoicism. Marcus Aurelius's words still resonate with us today because they speak to universal human experiences. They remind us of our own mortality, our responsibilities towards others, and the importance of living a life of virtue. His thoughts serve as a timeless guide for those seeking wisdom, tranquility, and a meaningful life. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This encapsulates his philosophy and his life. He did not merely philosophize about virtue and duty, he lived it. And in doing so, he became one of the greatest Stoic philosophers and a shining example of what a good man should be. From Zeno to Marcus Aurelius, these Stoic philosophers have left us a rich legacy of wisdom. Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, taught us that happiness springs from understanding the order of the universe. Seneca, the wealthy Stoic, showed us that wealth is not the key to happiness, but virtue is. Epictetus, once a slave, became a philosopher who taught us that we are not disturbed by events, but by our perception of those events. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, left us his Meditations, a testament to his belief that we should live in accordance with nature and accept what we cannot control. The enduring power of Stoic philosophy lies in its timeless teachings about resilience, virtue, and the pursuit of wisdom. These are not just ancient ideas, but principles that continue to guide us in our modern lives. As we close this chapter on Stoicism, remember, the philosophy is not just about understanding the world, it's about improving our lives. If you enjoyed this journey through Stoic philosophy, subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos.